The following video is a video recording of how to use the ePRINTit administration portal. As you can see, you've already had a registered URL put in your organization's name. So whatever that might be, it would be your organization's name.eprintit.com. That's going to be the same for your user's login, but on the administration login, you're going to have separate credentials. So the account is already created here. I'm just going to log in. And here you see immediately a dashboard. And the dashboard can be set to show or not show certain things on it, depending on how you want it displayed. At any time, you'll be able to see your users in the system, how many print jobs, black and white, color, photo, scans. You can view the details, printers in your network, and the payments in your network. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's a drop-down menu. The following categories are here: dashboard, which is what we're looking at right now, managed users, print jobs, payments, printers, reports, and configuration tables. So the first thing I'm going to look at here today is manage users. So in managing users, if you're on an LDAP or Active Directory, then this has already been fed, or at least the information has been fed from your system. But if you needed to add a person, you can simply hit the plus symbol, put in the username, the email of the user. It is important that only one person can be tied to one email. So if you need to set up a temporary account, or you have an administrator that requires both a user's account as well as an administration account, they'll have to have a separate email address here. Nothing is being sent back to this user. It's primarily for internal notifications. If we have an issue, they call and we're able to reach the user, so it's not tied to anything at this stage. Typical information and your role that you want to assign that person in the organization. So it might be user. You give them a temporary password and confirm the password, and that's it. You just simply add, and this user would be added. Go back to manage users. At any time, you can search for a user by putting in the user's ID. In the user's ID and in the information for the user, you have everything from the print history, which you could refund. For example, if somebody calls right now and you need to refund something, you can hit the refund button, say yes, and that money has been put back into the user's account. You can see all transaction histories and the date, the amount of money that was provided and who it was provided to, whether it be a cashier, whether it be a mobile application upload or a web portal submission of funds, it would show here. The pen item that you see up here is to edit any information in regards to the user. You also see there's a microorganism organization here that can be edited. Now, you can edit a person's password at this stage. We don't display anybody's passwords, so you won't see them. But if, for example, a person has forgotten their password and they're not on an Active Directory or LDAP, then you could put in here, temp pass or whatever it is that you wanted, and then they'll confirm that and they'll be asked to change their password on first use. So that can be done. Back to users. Here you'll see it's a complete report with the user's name, first, last name, the role that they have in the organization, an email, the balance they might have on the account, the sub-organization, when the person was created, and the last login date. Print jobs. In the print jobs, you'll see that you've got the printer name, the user, file name, number of pages, how they printed or what they printed, whether it was color, black and white, scans. the cost that was charged to this person, the number of copies that they chose, if there was a sub-organization chosen, and the date and time of the transaction. In the payments category, you see pretty much the same thing. You're seeing the payments. Date and time, a payment ID if necessary, and the payment source, how it was received. Printers is probably one of the most important part of your aspect. You're going to see here, every printer is given an ID. You're also giving the printer a name. The type is just the software that has been acquired for that printer, the date it was created on, created by, and an activation code. The activation code is very important. These three printers, for example, have not been activated. If they were activated, it would appear as active, and there would be a regenerate button here. If I wanted to turn off a device, for example, it's being moved from one location to another, and I have to reinstall a software on another device, I would install the software, and let's say it is this one right here, ePRINTit Demo 1 or ePRINTit Demo 2. I could simply hit the regenerate button. And do you want to regenerate an icon? I'm going to say no in this case, but it would appear with a randomized 6-digit code. The first time the user goes to that print release station, the ePRINTit release station, they're going to be asked to enter in that code. Now, you can edit any of these printers. So for example, if I wanted to take a look at my demo unit right now, you'll see I have a name of it, physical address, a latitude and longitude. That's important if you want them to show up geolocated in the mobile app. We also geolocate the user when they're downloading the ePRINTit mobile app for corporate or campuses or the enterprise version of our software, so that when they're in the building and they open up the mobile app, we actually input the organization ID into the phone. So here you can see you can edit virtually anything. Allowing a swipe login, allow guest logins, third-party payment processing, black and white, duplex, color, photo, scans, enable scan to cloud. So if you didn't have a scanner on your device, then I would click that off. And you'll see, of course, the price would go as well. If I indicate I do have a scanner and I want to scan to cloud, then the scan price shows up. Again, you dictate the price, we don't. You put in whatever it is that you want to charge. If you don't want to charge for scanning, then don't charge for scanning. Now, at any time, once you finish this, then your changes are automatically pushed into the cloud and will appear on first startup of the program on whether it be an HP OXB printer, a Xerox printer, or a PC retail touchscreen. If I'm doing multiple locations, for example, I've got a location with 200 or 300 printers, I probably want to make sure that I'm just going to clone them so that I'm not redoing all this work again. I will most likely have to put a new latitude and longitude and certainly a new printer name. And there will be a new printer ID applied to that particular device. Once that is done, it's going to ask you to save and you're done. Now in printers, click without saving, yes. At any time you can add a new printer. These license types on the left will be assigned to you depending on what you have purchased. So if you've purchased 50 of the kiosk licenses of the software, this would say that 15 have been used and you've got 50 available. Okay, so when you're choosing your new printer, you have to choose the printer solution that you have purchased. And then it will just show whether you have it available or you don't have it available. If you do have, or if you've run out of licenses, then you have to get a hold of ePRINTit, and then we'll just go back into the super administration role where we will increase the number available to you. And you can see it's all blank. Now, this is very important. You can see here where it says no, use organization prices, okay, or yes, use printer prices. If I say yes, use printer prices, then I can start building my price that I want for that particular printer. And this is a good way of managing within an organization. So if you've got multiple organizations and you want to set up different price points, then you can do it here. Every printer can have their own individual print prices, or you can use your organization prices. Organization prices are set when you first become a customer and you say, we need to have all scans at 5 cents, all printing at 10 or 15 cents, or you might be just doing it to track costs. And if it's just doing it to track costs, then put in your actual cost for color and mono and scanning and devices, just so that for budgetary purposes, you can see where your money is going when it comes to printing. So I do like using the printer configuration. Now your secret stripe key and your public stripe key, if you're having funds or you're collecting money and the money is going to be going into a bank account, then you do have to open up a Stripe account. We do have other vendors depending on what country you're in. So I believe right now we have Stripe, Paytm, iPay88, PayPal, and we're working on Heartland right now. So once we've created a printer, it will appear here, and you will hit put in the activation code into your software, because it will ask you for you, and you're going to put it in, and this will automatically be active. Reports, you have access to users, the print jobs, the printers, and of course payments. All of these details export to a CSV file. In the CSV file, if you have set up sub-organizations, you can sort by the sub-organization field and then charge those departments. In the configuration tables, you have a number of them. You have the LDAP, where you're going to fill it out and hit save. That will link us to your LDAP solution. We have messages, which is managed on the superorganization role. And in messages, we can put a message here that might appear when a person first joins the organization. Sub-organizations, you can create any number of sub-organizations within your organization. So your master organization, in this case, is Uniprint. Your sub-organization can be whatever it is. And you can create it, the default, and then continue to add sub-organizations. Settings are very simple. You can have self-registration on or off, and upload expiry from 1 day to 8 days maximum. Simply hit save, and your files will stay up there for 8 times 24 hours. Self-registration will appear automatically on both the mobile app as well as on the web portal when they're signing. So all of a sudden, underneath where your signature is, there'll be a self-registration button, and that's adding yourself as a user. In that case, there probably would not be an LDAP or Active Directory for us to work with. And that's it for the ePRINTit print management solution as of April the 26th, 2019. Give us a call at any time or review our website at eprintit.com. Thank you.